What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, and the movie I'm going to take a look at right now is The Two Popes. Now, this one comes from Netflix. It is directed by Fernando Meirelles, and this one stars Anthony Hopkins as Pope Benedict and Jonathan Pryce as Pope Francis. And this is inspired by true events, inspired by the actual popes that are depicted in this film. And so, Pope Benedict is in power at this point, and he is looking to maybe retire, maybe, do other things. And so he's asking other popes for advice and like what they would do. And so he clings on to Pope Francis, and they have, let's just say, different ideologies. Pope Benedict is more conservative, more traditional, does things by the book. Pope Francis also does things by the book, but he is open to interpretation. He is open to doing things the way he thinks is necessary and vital for the being in the position that he's in, and just doing good for what he thinks is good and not by strictly what a book says. Like, just feel it, and if it feels good, then you do it onto others. And so that's how Pope Francis works, and Pope Benedict is just kind of asking him questions and why he thinks that way, and understanding why he's popular and asking him all that stuff. So it's just conversation. It's mainly conversation as the bulk of the movie, and we get to see a little bit of flashback with Pope Francis when he was a young man, kind of growing up as a priest, and then eventually a cardinal, and then pope and everything. So so that's basically the movie. So going into this, I wasn't expecting much. I don't think I saw a trailer for it. I might have seen a trailer for it, but then again, Netflix, if you're watching this, you're just not good with your marketing. A lot of people don't even know half the stuff is even on your service sometimes. But I heard about this movie because of the buzz, the awards buzz that was just brimming up to the surface, where for Anthony Hopkins, Jonathan Pryce for acting, and then of course the screenplay. And so that got me excited because Netflix is doing really well this year with The Irishman, Marriage Story. Dolomite Is My Name is not really getting any awards love, but it's still a great movie. And now The Two Popes, it's like, this is the best year they've had in their company's history for sure. But so I saw The Two Popes. I liked it a lot. It's a really good movie, and it's on Netflix right now, so if you want to check it out, I would highly recommend it. Even if you're not religious, still check it out. It's still a fascinating watch in terms of dialogue and discussion, and if that stuff interests you, then I think you'll be riveted by it. Because it is dialogue based. There's not a lot of, action or, loud set pieces. It's just mainly two popes having conversations, but they're so different in their approach to Catholicism that that you just want to hear them out. You're like, you might be on this guy's side or this guy's side, but you just want to kind of hear them hash it out and find some common ground to kind of move forward in the new modern age of Catholicism. And so, yeah, I really dug it. And so, let's start with the script and the acting, because this is where most people are kind of clinging on to in terms of awards buzz. Anthony Hopkins and Jonathan Pryce are excellent in this movie. They seem so authentic in this. It's kind of incredible. As soon as the movie started, I didn't even realize I was watching this movie with two actors. I was watching this movie about two popes, and they get so into their characters that at points, like, I felt like I didn't like Benedict, and I didn't really care for Francis, and then like you like them at certain points. It's just like, it's so fluid in their transition in character. It's just they become the character, and that's so awesome. But they're really commanding on screen. You can't take your eyes off of them. They are absolutely just enthralling to watch. Just two titans in this industry just kind of go at it and just talk. So yeah, they're absolutely fantastic in this film. The script is also good. It's sharp, it's poignant, it's insightful, it's moving. It has everything you want. And when they're battling their ideologies and everything. That's really fascinating talk because it applies to modern kind of social issues, and these true events that they're inspired by only happen like 8 years ago, so it still applies to this day. But it's a really well done script, and it fires on all cylinders, and it doesn't let up, and you're kind of just riveted by the entire thing, just on a pure dialogue structure. Speaking of structure, the story is actually really well told too, because it's just these two popes kind of talking in different areas of where Pope Benedict is at, but then we also get some really great flashback moments where Pope Francis was a up and coming priest in this religious kind of space, and he had to leave a lot of stuff behind. He has a lot of regrets doing it for certain situations that he was put in. It's the type of story that just like when you see Pope Francis now, you're like, wow, this guy's been through a lot. Like he knows what he's talking about. He has seen the worst in people, and he has to change his methods. Like he has to adapt with the times. It's just, it gets you. And once again, that has to go with Jonathan Pryce's excellent performance delivering that, and of course Anthony Hopkins kind of bouncing off with him on that. So Fernando's direction in this film I thought was really fascinating, because not only did he craft a really well done film and really made it way more interesting than it appeared to be, because like if you read this on paper, you're like, oh, it's just two popes like talking in a garden, and then in a like dining room area, like that's not fascinating. But he made it seem like it was the most important thing happening at this moment. Like it just seemed like a really urgent movie. And another thing I really appreciated about his vision for this was its kind of visual language and its delivery style and how it was edited. Now, it doesn't work 100% of the time, but I will say this. He has it, the way it's shot, it's like a mockumentary mixed in with like just really kind of almost like loose cinematography. Not messy or shaky, but it's just loose. Like angles are just random, they're canted, and then some of them, we have the popes literally shoved to the bottom of the screen, or some of them we're kind of following them and then like canting it. It's very loose cinematography, and it doesn't work all the time. But what I appreciate about it is that it makes us feel like we're just observing this movie. Like we are a fly on the wall, and we're just kind of observing these two high people of power just having this kind of like conversation. So it is kind of like the fly on the wall mentality. Since popes are very, secretive inside of their walls like that, it was fascinating to kind of see them outside, walking around, eating vegetables, washing their hands or talking on the phone and stuff. And so having that kind of cinematography and that look to it, it provides that kind of like POV or like first-hand feel to the film. Once again, doesn't always work. There are some scenes where it is like super like cut. Each shot's lasting like a second, and it's just some of it's really haphazardly put together. Some of the cinematography is a little too random in some scenes, but for the most part, it works. And so I wanted to point that out in his directing style. And then the music is really well done. The production design is beautiful. It is lavish, and it is just grand, and just it's out there. Because when you think of the Pope, just living this high lifestyle, this movie makes it seem like it's the most beautiful place on earth. And so I got to commend it on that. So yeah, really, really good movie. I give it a B+. Can't really get it to that A kind of territory. It maybe on a rewatch I might get it there, but I think for the first time, I liked it quite a bit. So B+ for me for the two popes. Let me know down below what you thought of it, whether you liked it, you hated it, whether you're just neutral on it, please let me know. I read all the comments. And if you could just like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get up-to-dates on any type of movie reviews I do, or, go to my podcast and subscribe to that, and you'll get everything in that feed. But thank you for the support. Thank you for everything. But that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.